Let me ask you something straight. You wake up one morning, scroll through Zillow, and think to yourself, maybe this is finally the year I buy a home. You feel that pull. That emotional gravity toward owning something real. A place that is yours. A foundation. A future. And I get it completely. That feeling is valid. But here is what the real estate industry, the mortgage brokers, and the weekend open house salespeople will never tell you. In 2026, for most Americans, buying a house is not a wealth-building move. It is a financial trap dressed up in curb appeal and fresh paint. Let's talk numbers, because numbers do not lie and emotions do not pay mortgages. The average 30-year fixed mortgage rate right now is sitting around 6.23%. That sounds like relief compared to the 7% we saw in 2023, but do not let that number fool you for even 1 second. Mortgage rates jumped from 3% in 2021 to above 7% just 2 years later, and that single move pushed the typical monthly payment up by more than $1,000 compared to pre-pandemic levels. $1,000 extra. Every single month. That is not a rounding error. That is a financial gut punch landing on working Americans who did nothing wrong except want to own a home. Now here is the number that should genuinely stop you cold. Middle-income buyers in America today can afford only 21% of homes currently on the market. Before the pandemic, that number was roughly 50%. That gap did not appear by accident. It is the direct result of years of explosive price appreciation, stagnant wage growth, and a mortgage rate environment that systematically punishes everyday buyers while rewarding people who already own property and are sitting on equity they did nothing to earn except exist at the right moment in history. So who actually benefits from today's market? People who bought before 2020. The system is not broken. It is working exactly as designed. The problem is it was never designed for you. Let's talk about what buying actually costs, because the purchase price is only the beginning of the story and most buyers never see the full picture until it is too late. You find a home at $400,000. You put down 20%, which is $80,000 in cash just to walk through the front door. Your principal and interest payment on the remaining $320,000 at 6.2% over 30 years is roughly $1,960 per month. But that is not your real payment. Add property taxes averaging around 1.1% nationally, so roughly $360 per month. Add homeowners insurance, which has been rising sharply across the country, averaging another $150 to $200 monthly. Add maintenance costs, which financial planners estimate at 1 to 2% of the home's value every single year. On a $400,000 home, that is $4,000 to $8,000 annually just to keep the property functional. When you add everything together, you are easily looking at $3,000 or more per month, locked in for decades. And unlike renting, when something breaks, that repair bill is entirely yours. Now someone is already raising their hand and saying, but what about building equity and appreciation? Real estate always goes up over time. Let me address that directly and honestly. Yes, home values have appreciated dramatically in recent years. But J.P. Morgan Research is now projecting home price growth at 0% in 2026. 0. After years of extraordinary gains, the market is stalling. Redfin forecasts just a 1% rise in median prices nationally. The conditions that created your parents' real estate wealth, historically low interest rates and artificially constrained supply, are gone and they are not coming back quickly. And let's be honest about what building equity actually looks like in this rate environment. In the early years of a 30-year mortgage, the overwhelming majority of each payment goes straight to the bank as interest, not toward ownership. At 6.2% on a $320,000 loan, your very first payment breaks down to approximately $1,650 in pure interest and only $310 in actual principal. You are essentially paying rent to the bank for years before you meaningfully own more of your own home. There is also opportunity cost, and most first-time buyers never think seriously about this. That $80,000 down payment could instead be placed into a diversified index fund. Historically, such funds have returned 7 to 10% annually over long time horizons. At 7% compounding, $80,000 grows to over $300,000 in 20 years. That money stays completely liquid. It requires no roof replacement, no plumber at 2 a.m., no property tax bill arriving in January. Now here is something the housing industry genuinely does not want you thinking about. Homeowners insurance across Florida, Texas, and California has exploded in cost. Some regions are becoming effectively uninsurable. You could purchase a home today and discover 5 years from now that no private insurer will cover your property at any reasonable price. That is not a hypothetical future scenario. It is already happening to homeowners right now across the country. So what should you actually do with this information? Do not let cultural pressure make this decision for you. Homeownership has been marketed as a universal life milestone, but it is a financial instrument. Evaluate it exactly like one. Shop multiple lenders aggressively because according to Freddie Mac, buyers who compare rates across lenders can save $600 to $1,200 per year on their mortgage alone. Know your true total cost of ownership before you ever sign anything. And understand clearly that a sustained mortgage rate below 6% may not arrive until 2027 or later according to the National Association of Home Builders, meaning disciplined patience today could save you tens of thousands of dollars over the full life of your loan. Buying a home in 2026 is not inherently the wrong decision for every single person. For the right buyer, in the right market, with genuine financial stability and a long time horizon, it can still make sense. But for most Americans, especially first-time buyers already carrying student debt and navigating a volatile job market and economic uncertainty, the math right now is genuinely punishing. Do not make a $400,000 emotional decision without running every number completely. Know your figures. Protect your monthly cash flow. Build your financial foundation deliberately. And never confuse a 30-year mortgage obligation for a wealth strategy simply because someone told you that renting is throwing money away. Because in 2026, sometimes the smartest and most powerful financial move you can make is the one you choose not to make.